Billy Bat Productions presents The Hermanists, a satire show that remixes feminist history into a twisted comedy series. Some episodes contain adult content and strong language, just like in your daily life. This series contains dangerous ideas, possibilities, and a complete rewriting of history, just like in your daily life. Welcome to The Hermanists!
The truth.
Nothing
is true.
Everything
is broken.
The first thing I do in the morning is brush my teeth, sharpen
We're
my
all
jaw.
doomed.
Did join the circus. We're all doomed.
Calm down, woman.
Burn it down!
Burn it down!
Tonight on Women Time, we have an exciting show for you. I'm excited. I hope you're excited because this is an exciting time and an exciting show. She was one of my childhood heroes, and I didn't even know that she could cook. Tonight, Sunshine Stevens brings us a story from the beginnings of a long and storied life of Billie Jean King, Queen of Toast, inventor of avocado toast, lifelong feminist and philanthropist. But first, the news. Women Time. Something scary, or kind of scary, or could have been very scary, happened somewhere. Not to you or anyone you know, but we are going to announce it in the most personal terms possible because it could have happened to you or someone you know. More on that later. And now, she was born into a wealthy family who owned property near Wimbledon, and while they only had every opportunity at their fingertips, Billie Jean King defiantly rose to the heights of feminist fame with her edgy cooking attitude. Well, we all know her as the inventor of avocado toast, and we still use her beloved format for telling pornographic stories with food.
A light, fluttering caress of the mouth. Smack the dough around until it becomes stiff with urgency.
But where did her near-pathological desire for kitchen equality come from? How could one woman overcome the trappings of wealth and power to reach into the homes of common women everywhere to change the face of toast and open the door to female cooking? Well, believe it or not, it all started with a simple loaf of bread.
Nanny and cook had taken the afternoon off, while Billy and her friend Reginald had a play date. Soon, Reginald had raided Billy's mother's closet and was banging on the piano in a camisole and mink stole. So there Billy was, hungry, dejected by the world, little 18-year-old girl who stood alone with a bread loaf, looking for the directions, which her friend Reginald had assured her would have been undoubtedly written by a man. And the burning rage of hunger coursed through her, only to cripple her into a pile of pity. There she sat, squeezing the bread into balls and then sticking them on the ends of her fingers, giggling maniacally to soothe the crushing pressure of success over that bread loaf she nibbled at her fingers, and hatched a plan to escape her father's London mansion, to live amongst the peasants of Italy, and perhaps one day America. So as soon as Nanny returned from her afternoon of flitting about, Billie Jean would have her pack a trunk and put her friend, Reginald, into a carry bag. It took a couple of years before her family realized she was gone. Meanwhile, Billie Jean meticulously took notes while watching the peasants make food. She would often sample their dishes and offer them constructive criticism on how they could better their age-old recipes. Recipes that had been handed down from one generation to the next, sometimes just in whispers and nods. One morning, while she was putting her grubby fingers all over a market vendor's berries, some village peasant threw an avocado at her head. Bending down to pick up the projectile, she realized she really needed to just make something of this moment. Standing upright and holding the mouldy berry aloft, she declared with pride, "This berry is significant," and waltzed away, gnawing at the avocado and plotting her revenge. point, her father stepped in and gave her a choice to be cut off financially or return to the London mansion. With no real prospects on the horizon, she packed up her avocado and headed back to the mansion. Easily bored, Billie Jean took to eating her meals out and striking up conversations with the chefs, wanting tours of their kitchens, offering them unsolicited advice on how to improve their dishes. But one afternoon, during a busy lunch service, a cocky chef went on an angry, profane-laced tirade at her in the middle of the dining room. Unsure of how to react to the bizarre threats from the lashing-out chef, she accepted his bizarre challenge to a kitchen duel. The gasps from the patrons of the restaurant could be heard in all of Mayfair. The chef then found out the woman was from a wealthy family and took his chance to publicize the event for his failing restaurant, much to her chagrin. Then, during the publicity tour at local pubs, he also decided to go after not just her family, calling them Ponzi aristocrats, but the entire female race, to finally put these hens back in their cage once and for all. Every chance he had, this guy would go round mouthing off to the press about how this woman was just one in a long line of rich, entitled know-it-alls who didn't know a saucepan from an egg beater. But Billie Jean had an ace up her sleeve that she told no one about. The cooks and bakers from the family kitchens were beside themselves with worry. What if she pilfers one of their recipes and messes it up? The family kitchen would be the laughingstock of all of London. And to make matters worse, the chef began calling it the Battle of the Sexes and kept upping his demands. He now wanted to push for women to not ever be allowed into the great culinary schools or any culinary jobs, relegating them to dishwashers and hostess duties. And still, Billie Jean said nothing, simply letting him work himself into a frenzy. But soon, the future of the entire female race was on the line. His manic fury and constant demeaning rhetoric was leaching its way into the daily lives of everyone in the country. Not just the culinary industry, but sports and education and entertainment, even the government. People who had been life partners for 60-plus years found themselves lacking in all that was needed for simple respect in one another. Husbands against wives, brothers against their sisters, the entirety of male-female relations was coming down to just one meal. The event was to be televised, and on that day there was no traffic. Trains were halted because there were no riders. Everyone was sitting at home watching the event unfold. Well, the chef made a ridiculous spectacle of a traditional English breakfast service. But Billie Jean had a simple wooden table with a simple white cotton tablecloth upon which a simple silver coffee urn rested, and she had made what looked to be toast with a green mush spread on top. The 4 judges, all men, exchanged nervous glances before taking tentative bites of their toast concoctions, until one judge's eyes rolled up as he threw his head back and had to be given a chair. He was so entranced with his breakfast delicacy. All the judges nodded their approval. It was a hands-down win for Billie Jean and women chefs across the world. And this became the template for all cooking competitions. And she didn't stop there. She used her newly found fame for good. Opening chef schools exclusively for women only, She has fought non-stop for pay equality for women in all industries, not just food porn. And an activist for women business initiatives, even though no one knows what that last one is. Indeed, the gender battle was laid at her front door, and she answered it. Okay, you're up.
I can't. At first, I thought we'd learn something new about someone who is, in fact, a national treasure. Not just for women in sports, but also a gay icon. So I went along with this Sunshine Stevens ride. But food porn, really? Do you even know who she is?
Yes, I did my due diligence. But listen, no one wants to read that crap. She's a good person who will leave this world a better place than what she found herself in, blah, blah, blah. Selflessly worked for yeah. My interpretation is better. Sexier. Hotter. Come on, it's better and you know it. I got the gist of what she did and I put a modern spin on it. I added what's hot right now. Food porn, a screamy chef, and everyone loves a creepy posh Brit.
She's not even British. You'll be lucky if you're not sued for this absolute atrocity. You know what? The gays will have your neck for this.
Oh, they'll love it. You just have to be positive about it. Gays love positivity. Look at Ellen or Nancy Reagan.
What? Sunshine, have you ever wondered if there's really a gay mafia? 'Cause you're about to find out.
No, I won't. Artistic license. Gays love that.
Do they? You're dangerous, you know that? You're playing with fire, no dynamite. You're playing with a lit dynamite fuse, and I want nothing to do with this whatsoever. I don't know you. I mean, Jesus Christ, who's next? Dolly Parton? I'm out. Mr. Engineer, I forgot your name. Let me out of this booth. It's not funny. Stop laughing. Get off the floor and open this door. I will break this glass. Do not test me. Women time. The Hermanists is a Billy Bat production starring Nina Greeley and Sailor Billings. Music by John Bartman from Free Music Archive and sound effects from freesound.org. Thank you for listening. And if the mood strikes you, please like and review. Record. We are now recording. And I see a registering a sound thing. Okay, so, women time with a women.
I am a woman.
I spoke over you.
I am a woman. That's all right. I am a woman.
Nina?
Yes. I am a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. No, we can't.
Shit's so funny. Okay, so...
I'm a woman.
All right, honey.
Hey, Nina, sorry, that was my fault that Sailor's late because I was making her watch the Jane Fonda workout on YouTube with me. So I'm so sorry. This is 100%.
We literally lost track of time. I had everything. I was in here working before.
I'm so sorry. That's 100. I'm
You
sorry.
guys are crazy.
I was in here working before, and then we had lunch. And then she was like, oh, my God, watch this video. And literally we're like, fuck, look at her hair, man. It's so awesome.
Well, I was actually working on an audition. I am now in the grandmother category.
Oh,
So
great.
I had to go, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind.
Oh, my God.
All right, okay.
All right.
To your vagina and spark your joy.
That is awesome. I am so sorry. I have a cat screaming behind me.
I was just wondering. I was like, Sailor, I didn't know you had
Ouch.
any kids.
Get out. You can't do that, sweetheart. You can't do that, baby. All right?
Oh,
You wanna go out front?
That's what Mochi was doing this morning at
Oh, my
3
God.
in the morning.
He's recently found his voice, whereas before he would just go, ow, ow. And he's fucking letting loose. I love that. I loved everything you did on that, especially you had a pause somewhere. It was you nailed that. I'm so sorry that happened. Can we
Don't
try?
worry about it. Actually, it's fine. No, Mochi's done the same thing. The older she gets, the louder she
Oh my
gets.
God.
And she woke me up this morning at 3 in the morning. Meow. And I woke up and I look at it, and she's just sitting there next to my head, just looking at me. Meow. Just to get me up, you know. I don't know. Anyway. All right, let's try it.
One more time.